What's going on, guys? Zach Williams here, and today we're talking about how you can position your business to thrive during this corona crisis. Now, with that said, a lot of businesses are pulling back on their advertising. They're pausing campaigns, they're pausing Google ads, etc., and they are taking the conservative, play it safe approach to deal with the quarantines and everything that's going on throughout this corona crisis. So with that said, ad costs are cheaper because it's not as competitive to advertise on those platforms anymore. Paired with that, we have more people now than ever before on social media because they're sitting at home with nothing to do. So that makes ad costs even cheaper because there's more placement opportunities for business to advertise. So with all of that combined, we have seen over a 15% decrease in cost per impressions. Now that's per 1,000 impressions. So those costs are decreasing by 15% or more. And now is the perfect time for you to take advantage of these cheaper advertising costs, position your business as the authority in your marketplace, and build awareness around you, your practice, and what it is that you do for your community. 3 ways to do this are brand positioning and capitalizing on engagement, entertainment, and educational social media posts, and then retarget those audiences when the time comes to have those quarantines lifted to get cheaper leads and cheaper appointments through the door. So with that being said, we're going to show you today exactly how you can set up an engagement campaign inside of Facebook, get this rolling for yourself, and get your business positioned as the authority in your marketplace so you can capture market share and thrive during the recession that is bound to happen. Let's jump into the computer and get it started.
All right, so as you can see here, we're in Facebook Ads Manager. If you do not have a business manager already set up, you don't know what Ads Manager is, please watch another video on getting Ads Manager set up for yourself. But without further ado, we're going to assume you have that stuff in place. What you're going to want to do is get inside your ad account. Then from there, find the green campaign creation button. Okay. So from here, the objective of what we want to do is create an engagement campaign. The whole purpose of doing this is to build up an audience of people engaging with your business, your brand, and the content that you're sharing. So as you can see here, Facebook gives us several options. We're not going to deep dive into any of these. We're just going to focus on engagement. Okay. So from there, you're going to see 3 options up here: post engagement, page likes, event responses. We want engagement. Then you can choose whatever naming convention you want. I'm going to name this example, top of funnel, post engagement campaign. Okay. So from this, I can set up this campaign structure and then put all my ad sets underneath here. So all the audiences I want to target. And then from there, I can create all the ads for each of those audiences. All right. Going to the next step, you see create split tests and campaign budget optimization. We'll turn both of those off. That's definitely not needed, especially on the local level. All right, now we're jumping into audiences. So from here, you want to name your audience relative to whoever it is that you're targeting. Given that this is a top of funnel campaign, we don't really get too strenuous on our targeting because we're going to let our content disqualify people out of our targeting. So essentially, we want to keep as many people ideally around your location inside this funnel. So we're going to name this umbrella audience 10 mile plus. So that's the naming conventions we choose. By all means, choose whatever you'd like. Then what we'll do is we'll set the location, and we want to choose people living in this location. When you do people traveling in this location, you can get people that are relevant to your audience. You only want the people that have this city designated in their location on their Facebook page. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to choose Wake Forest. And we'll get that popped up. And then we don't want to do 25 miles. That's a pretty big radius. What we're going to do for this is 10 miles. Now, 10 miles is usually a good audience, somewhere between 10 and 12. However, if you were in a densely populated area, for instance, if I was targeting Raleigh specifically, I would actually shorten that audience to 3 to 7 miles. So use your discretion. A good range for the potential reach is going to be, typically, we like to have it between 80 and 300,000, with the sweet spot being around 150 to 200,000. All right. So with that being said, let's just assume that no one under 22 would purchase your product or is highly unlikely. So let's just cut those people out. 65 plus, we're looking at this from a chiropractic standpoint. Typically, the audiences that our chiropractors are seeing come in are 22 to 65 or older, with the majority being like 25, 26 and older. But there's still some 22-year-olds that can benefit from this. Next up is placements. Keep automatic placements on. Unless you're doing content specifically for like in-article ads or Instagram stories, let Facebook's algorithm determine which placement is ideal for your campaign. A lot of people tell you like, oh, you got to do this and do this and do this. When you're on the local level, it's really not worth it because there's not enough data points and enough data collection at that point for you to determine which placement's going to work best. Facebook is going to automatically cut out the placements that aren't working. With that said, we're going to go ahead and set daily budget. For this, we're just going to do $5 a day. For you specifically with this, I would start out at about $5 a day. We'll measure the engagement. And if you're getting a lot of good engagement with your posts and you're posting frequently, then I would scale this up to about $10 a day, but wait until you have 3 to 5 videos in here. Anything over $5 for less than 3 to 5 videos is really going to be excessive. So with that said, start off at $3 to $5, get 3 to 5 videos in here, then scale that up to $10 a day and keep putting new video content in here. All right. So next, this is where we're actually creating the ad. All right. So you can see here, it pulled in my Instagram account. That's because the two are associated. If your Instagram account is not selected here, you don't have Instagram account, that's fine. Just leave the pre-selected option. However, if you do have an Instagram account that's not pulling up, click down and make sure you select it. Then from there, we have 2 options. We can create a brand new ad, or we can use an existing post. Ideally, through this process, what you're going to want to do is take your content, make it a post on your Facebook page, and then come in here and select that post as part of the engagement campaign. This is a more advanced version of boosting that post. And this is what you would want to do rather than boosting. Gives you a lot more control and much more access. So what you can do in here is select post. You can select either a Facebook or an Instagram post. You could choose any of these options. And this is something that we set up for this tutorial. This is just an irrelevant video. And that's the post there. So it's pretty simple. This goes through a bunch of video testimonials for us. However, if there's talking in the video, it's good to add video captions. Okay, there's many mobile apps that provide this. If you're creating an ad on Facebook, Facebook will actually let you create the captions in there for you. So go around, play around with that. But let's go in here and show you the created ad example. You're going to click create ad and then upload your media. So you want to do video. When it's top of funnel stuff, you don't want to use static images. Video always performs the best. Then next, you want to add in your text. Here's some things to think about, okay? Let's just say this is my Zoom meeting link. If you write in a bunch of text, that's extremely difficult to read. So good practice is 1 sentence per line. Okay, so this is much easier to read. It gets much more engagement, but ultimately people probably aren't going to read this text too much, so keep it pretty short unless you are talking about an educational topic. If you're talking about an educational topic, kind of summarize that in the ad text. And if you want to go into deeper detail that maybe you didn't cover in the video, that's the perfect opportunity to do it. Now, we're not going to add a button. A button is irrelevant. That's not the objective. The objective, again, is just to get engagement. Then from there, you're going to create retargeting audiences and retarget that engagement once these quarantines are lifted and actually pull leads from that from a much more engaged and loyal audience. That's how you're going to get great customers and get leads at a cheaper cost compared to just doing a vanilla generic umbrella lead generation campaign. Then from there, you're going to click confirm. Boom, your campaign's going to go live, and then just keep adding to it. Don't overthink this with like A and B split testing and all that. That's irrelevant. Don't worry about that. Again, the objective is to get engagement and take control of your market share.
All right, guys, so that wraps up today's tutorial. If you have any questions about this, please drop comments below. If you did not receive our 5 tactics to thrive during the Corona crisis, and you would like that, drop that in the comments below, and I will be sure to send that over to you as soon as possible. With that being said, the whole objective here is to take advantage of a huge opportunity, because when you have clarity in a moment of chaos, that equals a huge opportunity for you. So with that being said, get out there, make some educational posts and entertaining posts with your audience to build up engagement and start getting more eyes on you, your profession, and your business. One big tip here. Okay, so when you're making these posts, the objective is to not only educate, but also provide entertainment and engaging articles with your audience that they are going to want. So a couple recommendations that we've made to our clients is to talk about the favorite pastime during the home quarantines, the best Netflix show to binge watch while you're stuck at home. Perhaps it's the best board game to play with your kids, or the top 3 meals you can make on a budget, or top 3 meals you can make when supplies are limited to maintain a healthy lifestyle while stuck at home. All these different posts are going to be things that are going to interest your audience and they're going to want to engage with. Then you can retarget them with content that would be suitable to your practice. So all these are a bunch of strategies that you can implement. Ultimately, at the end of the day, just get content on Facebook, share it with your audience, and get as many eyeballs on it as possible. Because when quarantines are lifted, you're going to want to start a massive lead generation approach to get people in the door and restore those revenue streams that were paused during these quarantines. I hope this tutorial helps you, and we will be sharing more soon. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks.